Yeah, I want to ask the question though, because this is something that I found really interesting. So if you guys didn't see, I posted a poll on my channel, on my community tab, right? And I asked people, and this is something I actually saw on Reddit. I saw it on the Reddit Hot Toys subreddit, right? And someone had asked how many Hot Toys do you buy per year? And I was like, that is actually a really good question. So I was like, that's a cool. Why don't I go ahead and ask people on YouTube the same exact question? So funny enough, I told Riley I filmed an entire walk and talk for 25 minutes, got back to realize my audio was all fucked because I did not have the plug all the way plugged in because it has to be just right. So I wasted all that time. So I will re-record that
That
video and post
hurts.
it for you guys.
It's tough.
However, yeah, it does hurt Riley, but we're going to talk about it at least a little bit today, and then I'll do a walk and talk to talk about it more. But we had 503 votes on this one. And I asked people, how many hot toys do you buy per year, right? So the question I kind of want to phrase here is this, right? So the way that a lot of us talk about collecting, we say, oh man, I would love to see X figure. I would love to see Y figure. Why doesn't Hot Toys make this, right? So maybe this will give us at least a little bit of insight into why that is. Because we look at this type of data here. This is, of course, not exactly representative of everyone in collecting. There are a lot of people who don't watch these live streams, a lot of people who maybe just don't like me, right? And don't watch my channel. So maybe these are not representative of all Hot Toys collectors, but at least data to work with for now, right? But if we're looking at this, we see 63% of collectors buy 1 to 7 Hot Toys per year every 12 months, right? And if we look at something else here, I want to share my screen. I've been tracking this year, right? So if we look at this, this is 25 releases thus far this year. And we're in May. We just hit the beginning of May, right? So if we extrapolate that data out, we're not even halfway through the year yet. At least 50 releases probably by the end of the year, right? So,
Right.
and if we're looking at the data here, 1 to 7, 63% of people. There are some collectors, 16%, who buy 15 plus, right? But if you have around 40 to 50 releases per year, this is why the question comes in, are we realistic about which characters actually sell? Because if people are only buying this many Hot Toys, what about those extra troopers? Or what about those characters that are maybe not as important to most people? So, Riley, I want to ask you the question. Do we sometimes maybe forget about the business side of things? Because this is, and I want to hear what everyone thinks, but do we sometimes forget about that in terms of what we request people make, right? What we request Hot Toys make? Because we want them to make a lot of different things. Grief Karga, for example, really cool character. I would like to see that one. But would he make the top 7 of the year for you if you were limited to 7 figures per year, like most collectors appear to be, right? I even voted myself. I probably buy around 8 to 10 Hot Toys per year, maybe less, right? So, Riley, what do you think about this? I mean, that's tough, right? Like Yelena. Is Yelena in the top 7 for you this year?
Right.
So, I don't know. What do you think?
It's a really good question. I like how you brought this up. I think you are right about us kind of not being as realistic about which characters sell, and mainly like you said about us, Yelena. For me, I thought the scope was pretty decent. I think it was like an 8 out of 10 or like a 7.5. But like you said, is it good enough to reach that top 7 category to people? Probably not. So I think I do get what you guys are saying. Like the bar is pretty high. Like I think this is kind of showing you that the bar is even higher now for a lot of collectors because as you can see, I mean, the data shows that people are a lot more selective nowadays. Maybe before it was 8 to 10 and 11, 15, the percentages were higher, but maybe now with the economy, people obviously the economy is not doing as great. A lot of people have to be more selective. I mean, I myself, I'm trying to steer off of Marvel, so I totally get why people are being more selective nowadays. I think that, yeah, I think we do set the bar high for certain figures for sure because personally, I mean, we're paying a lot of money for these things, so I totally get why. Like, oh, like Yelena, yeah, it's not good enough. It's not going to reach my category. So when we speculate on these certain figures and we're like, oh, like is Hot Toys going to do it? We also have to kind of understand, like you just said, like, is it going to reach that top 7 category? And probably not most of the time. So I'd say it's a little tough one. I'm kind of in the boat where I think I'm with you, Will. I think I'm like in 8 to 10 per year, maybe a little more. I don't really remember. I have to think of it on the top of my head, but overall, this was a really cool data to see because when I the first thing that struck my eyes was the 1 to 3 to 32%. Like that's really interesting to gauge because there's just so many things on Sideshow, and maybe with Sideshow having waitlists here all of a sudden like crazy, maybe this is what it has to do with. Maybe people aren't pre-ordering as much. Maybe that's why there's lower batches coming in the future. So it's all speculation at this point. But the question being, are we realistic about which characters sell? Maybe not. I think I'd gauge on that. I'd say that there are certain figures where we really do want, but at the end of the day, is Hot Toys looking at the business aspect more than just like the people's love for the character? And I think maybe we're seeing it right now. So yeah, it's a really great question though.
Yeah. Thanks, bro, for your thoughts on that one. Like I said, it's really interesting. Yeah. I mean, and look, as much as I love Shang-Chi and Wenwu, they are not everyone's favorite characters. So they could very easily fall in that same category where they're going to fall outside of your top 7 to 10. Right. So
Right.
that's probably what, and even Carnage, right? A lot of people love that Carnage, but the film was not beloved. Right. So if that's the case and Carnage costs $500 plus shipping and tax, is he going to make that top 10 for you? And that's why I say he's going to be discounted. But I guess we shall see. Nick, what do you think about this? Are we realistic about this collectors? Because something this data I think was pretty interesting.
Yeah, no, it's interesting seeing this because I think what Riley just said. It's interesting that people are definitely like buying less than what they used to. I feel like I know for sure I'm buying a lot less. Like when I started, I tried to buy everything I wanted. Like I was like, oh man, I'm gonna buy everything. And then, like after 2020, I was like, I gotta cut down because everything started getting more expensive. They started doing a lot more too. I felt like they started releasing a lot. Like they do a lot more announcements than they do release things, which is crazy. They announce like, they've released what 25 already. You said right? 25
Yep.
already. They probably announced what like 40.
Yeah,
it's
it was actually pretty. It was actually pretty interesting, Nick. They've announced 25.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Okay.
Unless
That's
I've missed
good.
something. Yeah, like I'll zoom in a little bit more. But yeah,
No, it
it's
looks like
around 25. Yeah.
No, it looks like you got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty interesting,
So,
right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool that you're keeping track of all that.
Yeah.
Man, but like, so I'm myself am very picky about what I get, but I know what you mean. Like, how realistic are we with certain characters? It's almost like what we talked about today with the fifth brother, that guy, and the other sister girl, whatever her name is, I don't know, but like, how realistic is it that they would sell? Like,
Right.
are they cool looking figures? To a lot of people, there are people who definitely want them, but is it a big enough market that they should be made? Probably not. And then you get characters like Carnage, where Carnage is in, like you said, this tough spot where people want Carnage. They do. I want Carnage, but the movie wasn't popular. I didn't like the movie, but I want Carnage. So you're in this tough spot where it's like, do we make him because people don't like the movie, but people want him, so he could sell? And I don't know, man. It's always an interesting thing. It's like right now with Cal. I think a lot of people want Cal. I think, right? I want Cal. And I've been seeing people ask for Cal recently. And I think that only opened up double after they made that trooper. And, how likely is it? How many people are going to buy that trooper? Probably a few. But I don't think people are going to army build him. I don't know. Am I making sense? I feel like I'm not making sense.
No, you are.
I think you are.
Oh, okay.
Because Carnage is a really good example. It's a really good example, Nick, and that's why I've said, and Kiko disagrees.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a low batch, right? I'm willing to bet otherwise. I'm willing. I bought mine. So someone asked, I bought mine from Tim Sant Toys buying agent because I got it for less than what I would have paid from Sideshow by far. I think I paid like $525 shipped out the door for the deluxe. Sideshow would have cost me $575, $580, something like that. So I was like, all right, cool. That's so fine. As I think you can wait for discounts if it's the right figure, whatever. But I've become a little more, I guess, impatient with certain figures that I really, really want because I'm like, okay, if I can get it for retail, I'm not going to pay over retail, but if I can get it for retail for what it is in the US, I'll probably just pick it up, right? Because look, I love waiting for discounts. I think it's great. But if I'm saving like $40 and I have to wait 6 months to a year, then I'm like, I'd rather just have the figure at that point, right? So, it's great to save money. But.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, like, I'm definitely like that too. When I want something, then I'm like, I want it. I want it quick. Like,
Right.
I bought the Rosario Ahsoka. I bought her from Hong Kong because I was like, I've been waiting for her for so long. I wanted it. It came out beautiful. I got it, and I mean, she broke, so I kind of lost at the end.
And when you buy from Hong Kong, you are rolling the dice a little bit.
You are rolling the dice,
right.
You're rolling the dice, but like, bro, I got a Toby on order from HK because I know I want him. Like, he's worth it for me, you know. And a thing I've been talking about recently with Riley is the Sylvester Stallone shop just announced their Rocky figure.
I saw that, and
oh my god, bro, I lost my mind. If I could day one pre-order that, I would have done it, but I ordered it from the site, and I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm picky, you know, just, you know,
Back to the picky
I'm a-
thing.
I don't know. I'm a picky person. Just I buy what I like, you know. This Carnage is beautiful. His
But
accessories look like
it's such a
Twizzlers.
beautiful guys. I'm gonna predict Carnage's figure of the year. I'm gonna say it.
I think so, man.
I think it might.
So.
Apparently, people don't agree because Riley, I think, posted a poll in place for collecting.
Yeah.
I think I saw Cyborg was winning for them.
Cyborg
Yeah.
actually won. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
I think he's like
surprised.
32%.
Because Carlos and I had a discussion about that, and I was like, I think Carnage is going to win. He's like, I think Cyborg's going to win, and he was right. So I thought Carnage was going to be more popular, but because for as much and many people would love that Cyborg, I don't see a lot of people buying it. That's
I
what's
think
really
I think the
interesting.
thing is with Cyborg is more so like people waited for that for so long, and I
Right.
think that obviously the movie of Justice League is a lot more popular. That I think it's going to have a little more bias than a Carnage, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
This
I think-
Carnage is
Good to
so
see my
sick.
boy Majid Faraj in the chat, by
Yeah,
the way.
he's
That dude
hyped.
is King Carnage.
He
by the
loves
way.
Carnage.
That dude is King Carnage. I love him, bro. I love his
Yeah,
passion
it's
for that.
awesome,
So
dude.
keep doing your thing, Majid. If I'm pronouncing your name correctly, or
out to
not,
you,
I'm
bro.
so sorry. But I'm glad you got. I think he got his Carnage finally.
Dude,
so
he did.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Dude, this
super
Carnage
excited.
is beautiful, man. I gotta get him, but I'm waiting. I'm waiting for
So
you.
good.
Yeah, mine are, like arriving I think next week. I got, and I told the people I think I got Wenwu and Suit, the exclusive one. I had to pick it
You
up.
did?
Too big. I'm too big of a
Yep.
Shang-Chi fan to not get it.
Dude,
So
I actually like the suit better than the other one.
really okay.
I
the
like, bro. He
original.
looks like a badass.
He does, bro.
Yeah.
Because I told
Yeah.
Riley I was going to recreate the scene of him killing all the gangsters with the rings and the
It's really
suit. So
dope.
that's
Yeah.
I
I
want to.
thought I don't know. Maybe I just like it because I thought the scene was badass where he's walking with you know. I think
Right.
he was holding Shang-Chi's hand. He's just
Yep.
walking with his hand in his pocket like a badass, and he's
Yep.
just like yeah, I'm gonna kick all your asses.
And then he comes in and literally
Yeah, dude,
murders
it was so
everybody.
good.
Right. That was
Yeah,
dope.
yeah. So anyway, guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Like I said, I will do a walk and talk where I'm discussing this and how people decide what hot toys to buy and stuff like that. It'll be a slightly different angle, but we will talk about it. I promise I will refilm it and I will record it correctly next time.